Okay, so I'm back. This is Rich at Mr. Guns Firearms in Cave Creek, Arizona, and we were talking about so you want to become an FFL and basically how I became an FFL. I had another career for 25 plus years where I was involved with executives and high value individuals, and I just transitioned into firearms and was looking to entertain the same clientele. So that's what my first video talked about. Make sure you subscribe to my series, and that way you can get the alerts when my new videos come out, because I'll cover something every single time, right? So just to recap, I have a 700 square foot store located in Cave Creek, Arizona, which is north of Scottsdale. It's a very affluent community. There's a lot of collections here. There's a lot of serious collections here. There's a lot of money here. The demographic, I mean, if I had to guess, is probably $200,000 a year and up. And I have, several billionaire customers who are regulars, some who you would recognize where they made their money. Let's put it that way. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the types of FFLs, right? So the first FFL that I got was an 01, and an 01 is a dealer in firearms other than destructive devices. So basically what that does is it allows you to just do like a retail deal. You can do it out of your house. You can do it out of a store. You can do it off a website. And if you are an 01, which is probably the most common, that's a very simple footprint, if you will, to get in with regards to selling firearms. So the other designations, number designations, are 02, which is a pawnbroker in firearms other than destructive devices. There's an 03, which is curio and relics. So this is guys that don't sell a lot of guns. They just want to be able to buy guns and not have to go through a dealer every single time. So you can get one of those FFLs, and it makes it easier for you to accumulate firearms, if you will, and create a collection. There's an 09, which is a dealer in destructive devices, which would be, explosives and things of that nature, which I'm not really interested in. So I did never pursue that one. An 06 is a manufacturer of ammunition for the most part. Of all different types. So you cannot do so much transferring of firearms, etc. with that. I have ammunition guys who come in and they do their transfers through me. And that's something else that you can set up individually, with how much do you want to charge for a transfer. I'll get those phone calls all the time. I charge $50. A lot of places charge a lot less. I'm a smaller shop. I'll take care of everything. I'll reach out to the other guy, get his copy of his license, etc., and then just handle the whole thing for you. So the next one is an 07, right? So I'm an 07 and I'm a manufacturer. So what manufacturing covers in the eyes of the ATF is building things like configurations, putting guns together, right? That's manufacturing. Or manufacturing parts, like if I wanted to manufacture receivers or stuff like that. I went ahead and got an 07 just because I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that I was going to be manufacturing something at some point, and it's very similar to an 01. I'll cover the SOT, the piggyback that goes along with your FFL later on. I'm an 0702. An 02 is a special operations tax, which allows me to do more things with machine guns and whatnot. So moving on, there's number 10, which is manufacturer of destructive devices. So if you're going to make grenades and flashbangs and stuff like that, and you can sell them to law enforcement, that would be the 10 designation. There's an 08, which is an importer. So you're bringing things in from out of the country that the government needs to keep track of. I don't know any 08s. I don't believe I have ever met any. And there's a lot of FFLs in Arizona. And then number 11, the 11 designation is importer of destructive devices, ammunition for destructive devices, or armor-piercing ammunition. So the most common is going to be an 01, 03. Everybody knows 01 is a dealer, right? And then an 03 is the special operations tax, or SOT, which is the class 3. Everybody knows class 3, right? What's class 3? Oh, class 3 is machine guns and suppressors. Well, yeah, class 3 is machine guns and suppressors, but there's only so much you can do with an 03. You can get those items and then you can resell them, but there are certain things SOTs, class 3 can't get. You can't buy from just anybody. You can't buy no law letter. There's clarification for all that stuff on the ATF website. And I wanted to do like the class 3 stuff because the ultimate goal for me was to get involved with more machine guns, transferable, pre-made dealer samples or post samples. And I'll explain those later as well. So depending on what you want to do with your license, whether you want to go to gun shows or whether you want to open up a store, or just how involved you want to get with paperwork, because that is a huge consideration. Let me tell you something. Like, I got to the point with my admin part of the business where I had to hire somebody because I was going under, like trying to run the counter, trying to keep the store stocked with inventory, trying to deal with consignments, and then trying to do the paperwork. Oh my gosh, dude, I could have worked like 12 hours a day and I wouldn't have been able to keep up, even if it was 7 hours a week. So that is that side of the business. You can get clarification for all these different FFLs or federal firearms licenses on the ATF website. You get an application, which is, it's so simple, it's ridiculous. You get fingerprinted, you get a photograph, and you send it into them, and you usually hear back in 60 days. I think that's the timeline they have, is like 60 days. When I became a dealer the first time in California, in 60 days, I had my license, but then I had to go through the California portion of things. So